January 6th. For the simple fact that everybody's calling it illegitimate. Oh my gosh. ALC called it illegitimate. Some other major ruler said that to H with the Supreme Court, and that we'll defy them, which is very much what, and calling for incarcerations, which is very much what Trump did before January 6th. Not that Trump is all to blame for January 6th, and not that these leaders would all be to blame, but they still have somewhat, so they still have some accountability with it for sparking outrage. Right here. Abortion ruling protesters support AOC calling the Supreme Court ruling illegitimate, which is an idiotic move because if there's violence and if there is breaching on and violence against the Supreme Court or the people who ruled it, or anything in the matter, then they'll be held in question. Really, just like Trump was held in question. Pro-choice protesters who gathered outside the Supreme Court on Friday evening told Fox News they supported Representative Alexandria uh, Ocasio-Cortez, calling the Supreme Court ruling illegitimate. Mm. I agree it's illegitimate when one demonstrator told Doc that was illegitimate when they just rolled it through a lawful way. I don't get this. After the High Court's 5-4 ruling that overturned Roe v. Wade, Ocasio-Cortez illegitimate. Illegitimate. Well, it is a court decision, and it's not very illegitimate, is it? Because it's a court decision. Bring this more here. It's a court decision whether you like it or not, and it's not really illegitimate, honestly. Just because you don't like it and just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean it's illegitimate. It's like me saying I don't believe in the January 6th. It happened. Just because I don't like it happen doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Simple fact. Okay, it says, asked by a crowd member, what can you do in Congress? AOC was a New York Democrat responded, I mean, that's the good thing. That's the thing. We have to fill the streets right now. Elections are not enough. See, this is just like Donald Trump calling our system illegitimate and saying it's not enough, and whatever we do, it is rigged. When that is not the case at all. This is just wild conspiracy theories trying to get people riled up for no apparent reason at all. This is insane, honestly. Like this is definitely gonna get them into some tough crap if something happens. One woman, Yulia, told Fox News, "I agree. It's also really frustrating because we have the government. The, because we have the government. The Democrats have the government, and they didn't codify Roe v. Wade. What's the thing when not they don't have the Senate completely because Trump put a lot of people. So when people put a lot of people, then maybe that outranks you guys a little. So they think it's a fraud just because there's some Republicans in there, maybe a little more Republicans that support it. And mind you, there might be some Democrats that supported it. Who knows? But those three Trump ones did support it, which were the ones that tied it over. I believe so. I think the solution is a lot of people just like taking this supporting one another. Julia contended. I hope that that's not supporting one another by doing more violence or doing violence. Volunteering for abortion access, making sure that everyone has financial access to abortions. To Plan B, to push for policy that are going to circumvent this destruction of our rights. What about the rights of the baby? I might add, because it has no rights within the room. Another woman said Another woman said she felt what AOC probably meant was that we really need all kinds of state legislators and courts to act rationally and judge fairly and not judge in the partisan and corrupt way that the courts have been. Well, they haven't been going like that. See, this is so annoying because both the right and the left have both done things like this. Like when Trump took office, it's Russia's fault. It's a fake election. When Biden took office, it's an election fraud just because we saw some trolls on the internet that got billions of views for faking election fraud. That's not legitimate proof for election fraud because a lot of people on the right don't understand the internet like people do on the left, or it's just an excuse for them to get mad at people on the left. It's insane. And then you have because there's a law, overturned of a law because it wasn't a legitimate law. It was not rightly pursued or something in that way. You're gonna say it was a corrupt thing to do, and that is completely wrong. Completely wrong. Bad for the right to do for a lot of the extreme rightists or the right because it's insane to do that really. Now we're gonna look at something where people said keeping your baby doesn't financially hurt you, like being a single mom doesn't financially hurt you, when it really does. Watch this retarded take. I mean, I don't support abortion, but this was retarded. Oh wait, wrong video. Wrong video. Uh,
I think that there
did he
should.
take it down? Did he take it down? Where is it? I saw it. Here it is. Here it is. Having an abortion does not change your financial situation. Yeah, that's what it says.
Aren't you putting an insuperable burden on women who are poor, particularly women of color? Upper class white women will always be able to go get their abortion. They'll always be able to lead the economic life that they want. But poor black women living in inner cities are not going to be able to do that unless they're able to dispose of an early pregnancy that they didn't want in the first place.
I mean, I think that's a big fallacy because an abortion, having a dead baby now in your history, doesn't make you rich, doesn't make you successful, doesn't make you well educated. If you
This is retarded. Okay. I'm gonna let the rest of the video play out, but I think you already know my reaction to that.
were the victim of a horrific rape, it doesn't take away the trauma of that rape. To say that poor women or lower income women or women of a certain ethnic background are served by abortion, no, abortion just ends the life of your child, and then it leaves you in the exact same situation you were in before. I think the solution is to say, okay, let's love them both. Let's focus on, in our communities, through our churches, through
Yes, we should focus on giving single mothers, but also the thing is that only helps so much. One, it could help more. Who knows? Because we haven't done too much with it, but we need to start doing it within our churches and our communities. And two, um, being a single mother does impact you financially, rather than you just taking care of yourself. A baby is much harder to take care of, especially having to grow them, giving them school. If you want them to go to private school, if you and or send them to private school, which is an abundant amount of money you will not be able to afford. Maybe schooling will be a lot easier, but also putting food on the table for them and those restless nights are a lot harder and impact you a lot financially than it would be or if you're much younger and you're a young adult, or you're like, let's say 17, 16, and you had a baby. It's living with your parents, even if they let you have the baby, still it's still hard and a lot more financially hurt you. This is a complete retarded take. Oh my gosh.
our whatever system